Coops here, going to provide you with some epic. You know, I know you guys like it when I say that, but it is going to be epic racing tonight. We've got a little bit of wetness on the track at the moment, as you can see. That's going to spice up this season finale for our British GT3 short sprint series season before the console update, which is going to happen imminently. So yeah, we're packing a lot of stuff in. So this evening we've changed the format as it's the last one, and we're actually going. Just going to check that feed in a sec. We're going to do 2 races this evening. So instead of doing the usual 15 minutes and then an hour's race, we thought we'd mix it up. And we're going to do a 15-minute qualifying session to start with, and then a half-an-hour sprint race with no mandatory stop, which is great. It's just a straight fight. And then we're going to do a full reverse grid for race 2. And we'll discuss that more, obviously, in a few seconds. But I know everyone's pushed for time this evening, and normally with this chap we're going to talk to in a minute, time is of the essence. Usually he's running through the door, you know, getting that deck chair out, you know, grabbing a drink and turning it on at the same time because he's normally working so hard. But he's got a bit of time off, which should scare everyone, really. So for your pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, Gamer Dad, you there, mate?
Evening.
He is. I'm very well, Gamer Dad. Thank you for joining me. I know it's not the first time you've done this, but this one will probably be better because Timmy's not here. That's probably... yeah, so obviously just telling everyone, normally you have quite a stressful, you know, ordeal to get back in and get in on time, don't you, for these ones?
Yeah, because I finish work at 10 PM. It's a nightmare.
Being the CEO's difficult, Gamer.
Yes.
Difficult. Right, let me check that is on. We have a live stream. We're just going to check we've got some sound, everybody. And we also have some sound. Right, so I thought, as this is the season finale and everyone can hear this clicking going on as we're watching this beautiful morphed Jag go into the pits there. I mean, you will...
It's not pink anymore. It used to be pink.
Why is that? What's the inspiration behind that, Gamer?
I don't know. I think I just thought I'd change it up a little bit. Plus, with the Alpine, the F1 team haven't released their livery yet or car yet.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be blue and pink.
Okay.
Which would look awesome if they get it right.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. So that might have inspired you for this one. It might just put people off as well, Gamer, because they'll be like, is that Gamer Dad? Because it's not all pink. I mean, we know every car you have is the pinkest pink you can get, isn't it?
Right, you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. No, never. So we've got our double header this evening, if you like, the two half-an-hour races. How do you think that's going to pan out? Are you going to be looking to make the most of race 1, or are you going to be tactical with your points accumulation tonight?
Wow, with the season I've had, I'll take anything tonight.
What's been wrong with you? Come on, reflect. Tell us, explain to the viewers what's been going on with your season then, Gamer.
Right, race 1, which was Donington Park.
Yeah.
Struggled out of slow corners. So I lost a lot of time. Race 2, got hit by 2 admin within about 3 laps. Race 3, which was Snetterton, struggled into slow corners again.
Yep.
Then I got some tips after that race of how to set the Jag up. And Brands was doing very well. I thought I was top 6 at the time, and then got taken out by the boss man. Yeah,
I mean, the viewers don't really... They don't get behind the scenes. Like, we don't have a drive to survive. And maybe we should actually do that within FRL, because I think if they had that background access, Gamer, the silence that was there spoke 1,000 words. I could feel the anger.
I literally just put the headset down. I know it was an accident, but I put the headset down. And I was like... Because I looked at when I looked at it, because I watched the rest of the race, and I was looking at the people I was in front of at the time. 2 of them finished top 5, and I was thinking I could have had top 5.
You could have done that, yeah.
I was very competitive at Brands. I was setting 125s, which I think race pace is really competitive.
Yeah, it is.
And then I think I'm competitive here, so I've been doing 2:05 race pace. So I'm hoping if quality's dry, I can do a sub 2 minute.
We will. Well, I won't watch it. Obviously, I'll just keep my eye on the timing.
To be honest, the Jag, I'm starting to like the Jag because I won a race in it the other night in the Slammers at Monza. The thing is a beast at Monza.
Yeah.
Really, honestly, no one could keep up with it.
Well, I have to say, from my observations within FRL over the time that I've been here, and especially doing the comms, I would say, Gamer, that, and it's not just because you're having a chat here, you are one of the stronger drivers, I feel, in terms of getting in a new car and figuring them out.
I'll always try a new car and figure it out. So,
what's the benefits of doing that for people? Because a lot of people probably just sort of stick to one car, don't they?
Yes, so I don't like. Well, you know, you get too comfortable. So when I first started this game, it was Bentley because everyone drove Bentley. It's the easiest car to drive. I mean, okay, I drove it in Midnight Madness. I don't like it because honestly, it just does its job and it's very good at its job. Got nothing against the car. I just don't like driving. Plus, it's right-hand drive. Race cars left-hand drive. So it's weird driving a race car on the right hand side. I know I drive right hand side in real life, but a race car should be left hand drive.
Maybe we should start emailing Bentley. Well, it won't matter actually because they're not really. Well, they're not in it this year, are they? But maybe that's why. Maybe they failed the left hand drive test. Who knows? Who knows, mate?
But yeah, I just like getting into new cars, trying new things. I'm 5 for 5 now in multiplayer races.
Nice.
I've won races in Bentley, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Jaguar. So, and Nissan 6 for 6 actually.
Yeah, and Nissan. You can't forget the Nissan. That's what any of the newer people. That's what they'll associate you with, won't they? At the moment.
I'm learning that each car, you have to go about in a specific way to set them up. So, for example, the Nissan like tyre rake.
Yeah.
Whereas the Jag, you have to keep flat and low to the floor.
Yeah.
So it requires like a bit of changing driving style, I think. Because I'm having to with the Jag, I'm having to learn throttle control a lot more than I did with any other car.
Interesting.
Because there's so much power going through them back wheels. I know it's the oldest car on the grid.
Yeah.
But honestly, the wheel spin you get out of slow corners is horrendous.
Yeah.
It just chucks you out, so you have to. Yeah, you have to learn a bit of throttle control. So.
So, guys, there we go. Gamer Dad, if anybody has any questions, I might do a competition where you get a setup. But if you want some real in-depth knowledge, drop Gamer Dad a DM. He only charges £100 an hour. We'll go for an hour to start with, because it's valuable. No, but Gamer Dad, same as anyone here, we'll all try and help. But I think you do know your apples, mate. That's what I will say.
I'm learning. I'm learning. So, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Right. So, give me a prediction. What's going to happen for you tonight?
Hopefully, mid-pack first race.
Yep.
Hopefully. And then second race for. Well, the second race is going to be interesting if everyone looks at where their starting position is. Yeah,
I'm going to be very keen to see if everyone follows the rules there.
Hopefully, everyone's read Discord today, and seen the rules for race 2. I'm looking forward to it.
So me too. It's going to be different.
I think it'd be great to have a full. We've been wanting to be honest. We've been wanting to try for ages a full reverse grid. But it does require everyone to be on the same page. Yeah.
It does. I think it will be, mate. I think everyone's raced with each other long enough and are committed enough to not just arrive and drive, should we say.
If it stays wet.
Yeah.
I know. I reckon a surprise winner.
Okay.
Maybe a hutch. Maybe a hutch.
Maybe a hutch. He was very, I'm not trying to pigeonhole in there, but he is very steady, is Hutch.
Or maybe a pony feeder, because he's looking quick at the moment.
I want to, not being biased, but in terms of the effort that's been going in, I would like to see Euphoric State get a result. But I think even in the wet with that Porsche, I don't know.
I tell you what, he's really, because he was using the Beamer in Midnight Madness, and he was very quick in that as well.
Yeah,
he's a really good driver.
Well, let's keep an eye out, mate. All right, I'm going to let you go. We've got just under 5 minutes left. I don't, I've probably ruined your practice there, but hey, at least you've been in here for practice.
Yeah.
Instead, you know what I mean? Oh, Condolongu's coming again in the wrong server. Yes, he should be in tier 2. Great. I did send him a message on Discord earlier, but obviously didn't read it. Yeah, it's going to be annoying. But anyway, okay, game up. Best of luck. Let's see if Condolongu stays in, and I will keep an eye on you. If something happens, obviously, it is not my fault. It is your fault.
Every time you put the camera on me, I'm off.
That's right. That's right. It'd be spinning. But let's hope that doesn't happen, mate. I'm sure it won't.
Yeah, mate. Thank you very much.
Good man. Good man. See you later.
See you later.
Well, there we go, guys. That was Gamer Dad. You got to love Gamer Dad. He puts a lot of time in. He's really committed. Obviously, one of our admin guys, gets involved, runs all the sort of late night stuff, the taco, not the tacos, the slammers, Midnight Madness. He's an ever present, and he's a big reason, obviously, why we're expanding that much further afield across the globe within Formula Racing League, because we've got people like Gamer Dad and Yvolton who are, they're night owls, and they can help facilitate those additional servers and races. So yeah, that was a great chat with him. Many thanks for that, Gamer Dad. So 3 minutes left of free practice. As you will have noticed, it is damp. We've got 17 degrees ambient and 21 degrees on track at the moment. We're just keeping an eye on Crazies in his Aston, currently setting the benchmark with a 205.523. So, let's have a quick look at the live chat. I have not been ignoring you all, but obviously we've been having a really interesting conversation there with Gamer Dad. Lurchies is in. Lurchies, good evening, my friend. I hope you're well. Jamie popped a message in there. Jamie wishes everybody good luck. Jamie's obviously involved in tacos. And then we've got Ionet's in, saying hi. Hello, Ionet. Glad that you're with us. Hopefully you'll stay and watch these two races. They are going to be pretty epic, because Crazies gets a bit of a slide on there. Let's have a look at Lely and his Bentley, see how she's handling. And Fresh Brizzle is in for a hello. Hello, Fresh Brizzle. Hope you're well, my friend. You may or may not have seen earlier on today, folks, on the FRL YouTube channel, and I put it out on mine as well, the COMMS by Coops channel. We did a little reveal. So we've got the Race of Champions tomorrow night. Not taking anything away from this one, but we've got champions all at it to see who is the real daddy of FRL. We revealed the car earlier on today for the race at Suzuka tomorrow evening. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. If you have seen it, you know what car they're driving, so it's going to be interesting. I do urge you to have a look if you don't know what they're in. So, with 1.5 minutes left, is it going to still be damp and wet come qualifying, or is it going to dry out a little bit? You just never know, do you? As we look at Hutch in his Ferrari. Race format, I did mention at the top of the show, it's not an hour like it was before. We've split it, as this is the finale, round 5 at Silverstone of the British GT3 Championship. We've gone for 2 half-an-hour sprint races, so no pit stops required, which is just going to spice things up a little bit. And the real spicy one is the second race, is a full reverse grid. So everyone's had some instructions today on Discord in terms of how that's going to work. I'm not going to go into all that for everybody, but basically everyone will know what their starting positions are from their finishing positions in race 1, and then we're going to look to use that formation lap, and we're going to do it in a very specific way, so everyone gets away at the right time with the right spacing, so we know where we're at. It's never been done before within Formula Racing League. I don't know if others try it in their leagues on the PlayStation, but there isn't a facility there to do that, so we're trying that one out. So, win this race, start last in the next one. What more could you ask for? There are there's a lot at stake this evening. If you've been a fan and watching this series over the last 5 Sundays, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, again, go back on the channel and have a look. The top 3 can all win. So we are double points this evening for these 2 races. But currently, Michael Races is top. Let's run... Do you know what? Whilst we're here, well, let's do that whilst Hitch is going around there. Let's just have a look on that. Let's pull the mic over a bit so you can hear me properly. Right, so... Michael Races is currently top on 148, okay, in the McLaren. IR Graham, now, again, if you've been watching us, you'll know that Michael and Graham had an absolutely titanic... Mike, stop getting in the way. Sorry. Those 2 had a titanic battle in Taco Tuesday to see who won, you know, who was crowned champion of that. And Graham came out the victor. So we've got these 2 involved again tonight. So Graham in the Merc is 8 points behind Michael. That is it, 8 points. And then Lely in the Bentley, who's never present, as we all know. Lely is only 12 points back. So those top 3, they can all do something tonight in these double points races. Crazies is not out of the shout whatsoever in that Aston. He's 37 points behind on 111. And then we've got Traction Dave in the McLaren, that's Michael's buddy, on 76 points. Spacey is not with us tonight, I don't think, as we are just going into qualifying. Spacey is 6th. Euphoric State, he's due a good result. He's been driving really well. I want him to do well this evening. I want them all to do well. But I want Euphoric to get a half decent result. Let's do a quick bet. Is Graham going to be the first out of the pits? Let's stay on him and see. It normally is for qualifying. No. Michael gets out first, Graham second. Okay, championship to Michael. That's that done. Fresh Brizzle is 8th in the Bentley. Then we've got Chica, the top Scot, if you remember, we coined him the other week. In his Merc, he's currently 9th on 45 points. SOP Nelio 10th in his Ferrari on 34 points. Then we've got Marek 11th on 32. Volton, he's not with us tonight. I think Chris is having a race in Tier 2 this evening. He's 12th. I Am Slow's not with us this evening. He's our controller from Australia. Again, you guys will have heard him on other shows that we've done. He's 13th, GT Jamie 14th, Georgie Priest 15th, and then we've got Gamer Dad, who's our featured driver today. He is in 16th at the moment with DeWill, Evan and Hutch. So that's your standings. I mean, the track is dry. It's now a fast track, so track temperatures are probably going to increase slightly, and this is going to allow these boys to really start putting in some lap times. I know even in the wet it can be indicative of their pace, but obviously now we're dry, we're going to see who has got the pace. And look, straight away Graham is all over the back of Michael. He wants to be in his mind this evening, because he wants another championship, and Michael is going to be determined. I mean, Michael's had the upper hand on the Sundays recently. Who knows? Brilliant track for it, Silverstone. Quick back to the live chat for a second. Lurches is saying not been here for a couple of Sundays. Oh, he's been... mate, I know you... Lurches, you do a lot of hard work, mate, all over the UK, so no bother with that. I'm glad you're back for the finale, that's all I'm going to say. Jamie's saying he's rooting for his teammate. Oh, okay. So he's rooting for Essa tomorrow night in the Race of Champions. Essa is super quick. I mean, I really enjoyed racing with Essa when he was about before this second season. Danny Boy, come on, Hutch. Your biggest fan from Malaysia. Pet Donkey Hutch. It's very interesting that we're finding out all these pet names that these guys have. And Lurchy's having a little chat with Jamie at the moment. So there's 6 of us in. Come on, guys, let's up these numbers. It's the British GT3 finale. These boys have worked really hard over the last 5 weeks. A couple of minutes in now. Let's go on board with Michael. Okay, we are obviously going to get involved with a fast lap, and then we can compare Michael to Graham initially, and then we'll see where the rest of the field stack out in terms of this. So obviously his tyres are still looking a bit blue there, although that's probably not giving us the correct tyre data. So down onto the Hamilton straight we go, into Abbey, quick right-hander, dab of the brakes, down to fourth, turn her in on the power as soon as you get on that apex, so had to wait a little bit there, which is fair enough. Left through farm, and then we've got village coming up here. It's a tricky one. Got to get it turned in. You only want to get sort of halfway in the road, then straight on the power over to the right, on the brakes, down to first, trailer in. You've got to get that apex just right as you're going through the loop, and then we're going to go through Aintree and then onto the Wellington Straight. So, you know, the whole process of going through village and the loop is setting you up nicely for the Wellington Straight. Look for the board on the right, hard on the brakes, down to second, get it turned in. You can cut across there, yeah, that's what I would do as well. Squirt of power, down into first. Let's wait for about 20 years in Luffield, being patient, then the power goes on. Use all of that curve on the right hand side, then we're on to the old Formula 1 start finish straight with a run down to Coops. So you've got a little breather here, little breather where that board is, down 2 gears. Well, he's only gone down 1, that's fair enough. And okay, so Michael takes her for a little bit of a spin. So thank you for ruining my track guide, Michael, but unlucky, mate. Gamer Dad, come on guys, he's featured driver. Let's get on board with the Jag. He's just come through Coops. Let's go on board and see what he's doing. So up to Maggots and Beckett's. You want to hook this curve on the left hand side, dab of the brakes, down the gear, turn them in tight, get straight back on the power, then off down to third. You've got to be a little bit patient there. It's all about getting the line correct, and then straight on the power as we come out through Chapel onto the Hanger Straight. So again, very similar to the loop. Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel obviously are all going to set you up for that big run down the Hanger Straight. Look for the curbing on the left hand side there, hard on the brakes, down to third. You've got to be a little bit patient there. Other cars will be able to get on the power earlier than that on that apex. And then just where the curb starts, when you get down into first, trailer in, a little squirt, then off the power, get it turned in now, gently squeeze on the power. Gamer Dad was saying earlier on, you know, in terms of the amount of horses that are trying to come through the back of that vehicle with it being so old, that throttle control, you know, you've got to be really careful with it. As we go through farm there, yeah, she didn't look too bad. I wouldn't say she looked completely compliant there. Hard onto the brakes, into village, get her turned in, squeeze the power on, get her across to the right, brakes again, get the apex right. I would probably turn her in a little bit later there to come back across more, but each to their own. And then through Aintree, back onto the Wellington Straight. Let's see if we can get a full lap done. So Gamer's currently in 8th. On the brakes, down to second. See, still trailing in there. You saw he had to give a little bit of extra brake input as well. If you look bottom right hand side, you've got all the inputs there. As we're coming through Luffield, just listen to it. Just wait. He's invalidated like that, but he is 3/4 tenths up. So I think you guys get my drift. Silverstone is an absolutely amazing track. I love Silverstone. I love going there. I love driving on it. She's absolutely amazing. So, as we stand, we're halfway through qualifying. Michael is currently on provisional pole with a 58.5. Traction is then in second, so he's still going. We'll have a look at him more. Apologies, Spacey, you are in. So Spacey in the Bentley is currently in third, and then we've got Fresh Brizzle in the other Bentley. He's fourth. Lely's currently fifth. I'm sure he's going to want to improve on that. Nelio is in this evening as a reserve, I believe, and he is currently in sixth. And then ERT Milden. Now, ERT Milden, I was lucky enough yesterday, actually, to jump on board with Yvolton for a 2-hour endurance race around Kyalami. And Milden was in there. I was actually really impressed with him. He was one of 5 guys that had just joined up to FRL. And they all raced yesterday, and they were quick. So we are bringing people through that are at all levels, obviously. The people that are fairly new to the game or aren't that experienced, they're getting the opportunities to learn, which is fantastic. Obviously, we've got our own aliens, but it also looks like there are other people from other leagues that are wanting to get involved, which speaks volumes, really, for what we're trying to do here. So, let's have a look at Euphoric State and his Porsche. You know, I've been a big fan of his over the last few weeks. He just hasn't had the look, so we'll see what he can do in that Porsche today. He's currently nearly quarter of a second up. Let's get on board. Let's see what we've got. Right, quick live chat. Yeah, good. Looking forward to the next season. Yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good. Those two are happy. Right, we've got 9 in at the moment. So we've done a lap guide. We're in qualifying. We've got 6.5 minutes left. If you have just joined us, it's a slightly different format this evening. It's 2 half-an-hour races, no pit stops whatsoever. How's she had me through there? So he just lifted there, didn't down change. She seemed pretty stable through there, which is good. Yeah, so 2 half-an-hour races, no pit stops required. This is the only qualifying session they're going to do this evening, because when they finish race 1, we're going to have a completely reversed grid for race 2. Why not? Why not? So, double points available. Championship is massively up for grabs. Michael's out in front, 8 points ahead of Graham, and then Lely's only 12 points behind them. And actually, Traction, we did say at the top, didn't we? Traction's only, I believe, 27 points behind. Maybe 27 points behind Lely, so, you know, he could still do something today. So, let's do a quick run-through of who we have available to race. Obviously, Michael, Lely, SOP, Nelio's in, Traction, Spacey, Fresh, Brizzle, Milden's in as a reserve tonight, Euphoric State, who we're on board with at the moment, Pony Feeder is in as a reserve this evening as well. Then we've got IR Graham, who's currently second in the championship, but 1.7 seconds off the pace. Maybe a setup issue there, maybe he got a bit greedy and he had an off, don't know. As Euphoric State gets a little bit out of shape there. Let's go on board with Graham, see what's happening with him. Gamer Dad, our feature driver of the day, he's currently 11th place, he's in. GT Jamie's in. GT Jamie, very, very quick driver in that Lambo. He's been consistent all year long even, not all year long. Poor guy, it's a long time, well it's not, is it? It's only February. Kino's in, Kino's sitting in as a reserve, he's Pony Feeder's teammate, so good to see those two boys in. And then we've got Evan IRL in the McLaren, he's racing tonight. Chica in the Merc, good to see Chica in. Crazies, ever present in that Aston. Then we've got Marek in the Beamer. He didn't have a great race last week by his standards, so I'm sure he wants to put that right today in the finale. And then we've got Hutch. Our man Hutch, you will all recognise and know from the FRL cast that we did last Wednesday. Great lad is Hutch, does a lot for everybody. And SOP Steve is in the Porsche. So that's who we've got racing tonight. Michael is still out there on pole. What's Graham going to do? Let's see if that was a quick lap. No, so let's get on board now. Let's see what Graham can do. Is I thought he was going to invalidate straight away there as he comes down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Yeah, she doesn't seem to be handling badly through there. I mean, gets on the power nicely through Chapel and then down the Hanger Straight, so he's a 10th up on his previous one. There must have been an area where he's got some braking wrong or something like that. So anyway, as we come up to Stowe, down to 3rd, Turner in 2nd. Okay. Early up change there, just to cut the traction out, doesn't want any too much wheel spin. Down to Vale, trail in there, he trailed in, that's beautifully trailed in, little square off the power, so he's already put it into 2nd. So he's just keeping that back end a little bit more stable. Onto the Hamilton straight. Okay. Then Abby, let's see what she does through here. That was beautiful through there. That was committed. Watch out, watch out. Oh, Graham, unlucky Graham. Graham was on for a good lap then. He was falling a bit tense up, and he was committed, wasn't he, through Abbey there, and it was just unfortunate. He took a little bit too much of that curve, I think, in farm, and that ruined his lap. So we will keep an eye on that. Let's go back and have another look. So Michael is still out there in first. Lely, as you would expect, did improve. He's got himself up currently to 2nd. So he looks like he's preparing for one final shot. Let's come out of there. So we know Lenny's warming one up. Nelio's currently in 3rd still. Traction, that's, you know, again, Traction's been really consistent in the British GT3 Championship. So well done to him. He's currently sat in 4th place. Someone's going off there. Spacey's in 5th. Fresh Brizzle 6th. Milden 7th. Euphoric State is in the pits. He's 1.5 off the pace. I'm not sure he's going to be too happy with that. Pony Feeder's doing pretty well at the moment. He's up in the top 10 in 9th. Graham's sat 10th at the moment. Graham does not, unless, well, again, is it tactical, guys? I mean, we did talk before, it's double points, it's a reverse grid, so do you want to win the first race? Okay, double points and then start from the back. You don't have many slow, well, I say many, you don't have any slow guys in this tier, so how easy is it going to be to come through the pack, especially with it being the last race? Are people going to want to jump out of the way? I don't think so. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll keep an eye on him. Look at that. Traction Dave has just gone into second. So currently, this happened last week. This happened last week, just before qualifying finished. On my daughter's slide, this happened last week. Traction and Michael ended up locking out the front row, and then Nelly and Graham put in a really good lap at the end to split them. So let's see if history repeats itself today. I don't know why I'm waving my controller around the place. That's I Am Slow's job, isn't it? Right, let's go on board. We have to see. Right, so he's half a second up. We'll stay on helicam. Let's just check this out quickly. Faco's in. Hello, Faco. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us this evening. You are going to be treated to some amazing racing. These guys have been battling for the last 5 weeks, door to door, bumper to bumper, obviously all very cleanly, but aggressively. And obviously we've got a championship on the line tonight, so stay with us, Faco. So Graham does improve. He does improve. I didn't see if he crossed the line. I mean, he's up if he has. So he's moved himself up to 6th at the moment, and that will show him being a couple of tenths up the road. So that would put him potentially 5th, because Space is in the pits and Nelio's in the pits. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil everything by being on board with everyone. So Traction put it in the pits. Letty's in the pits. Okay, Michael's still out. So Graham is the only guy who's going to challenge Michael, and we can't go on board anyway, so we're just going to have to wait and find out. Well, before we do that, obviously you can all see I am wearing a beautiful garment this evening, you know, from FRL, just part of our merch range. Daz Parker gets involved with that. Obviously you can purchase that from the website, www.formulaRacingLeague.co.uk. Right, so Graham, he's still pushing. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and also, obviously, I'm really thirsty as well. I've got this beautiful, well, you can't see, can you see? Here you go. Just look at that. Beautiful FRL mug as well. Sorry, coffee delivery device. That's what we said, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? So cheers, and thanks for joining me. Come on, Graham. What are you going to do? Not anything he needs to. Okay, wow, there we go. So, Michael races pole position for the first part of this doubleheader this evening. His best mate Traction in the other McLaren is sat next to him, so I'm sure Traction is going to provide a little bit of rear guard action there for Michael. If he doesn't, Michael probably won't speak to him ever again. So that's going to give Lely something to think about. Nelio's alongside Lely at the moment. Let's pop it in there so we can just have a look. And that's a wall ground. Watch out. We've got JA has joined the live chat and says hello everyone. Hello JA. Could you are you part of FRL or is this first time watching? But you're welcome, obviously. Faco, mate. Stay as long as you can, of course. You're welcome to stay as long as you like. And if you can't finish watching all of it, well, you know what to do. You can watch it tomorrow on my feed. It's up to you, mate. Yeah, Lurch is impressed with Michael's time. Yeah, well, we all know Michael's quite fast, don't we? He's quite quick. All right, we're going to go on board with... We're going to stay on board with Graham, actually, I think, at the start, because... he's going to really need to fight through, isn't he? So, you know, fuel's not going to be an issue. We need 30 minutes worth of fuel. Tyres aren't an issue because they don't have to do a tyre stop. So they've got nothing to think about right now apart from nailing the first lap. Yeah, making sure they're clean. Excuse me. And go from there. Let's have a quick run through. So, Michael on pole. Traction's next to him on row 1. Lely and Nelio. I like that. They're on row 2. Spacey is 5th on row 3 with IR Graham, who I don't think he'll be happy with that run, to be fair. GT Jamie and the Lambo and Fresh Brizzle line up together. That's going to be interesting off the line with those two. Milden and Pony Feeder then are 9th and 10th. Euphoric State, 11th. Gamer Dad in the Jag is 12th. And then behind them, interesting, Crazies lines up alongside Hutch. That's a bit of an FRL bromance going on that row. Chica and Kino are just behind them in 15th and 16th place. Evan IRL 17th, Marek is in 18th, and then SOP Steve is currently at the back in the 789 Porsche. So that's your grid for this evening. We've got 19 runners, all completed qualifying. Some are going to be involved in the championship fight, some aren't. So that will be an interesting scenario. You know, if any of our reserves are in this evening and they see the championship contenders in and around them, do they fight them tooth and nail, or do they give them a wide berth? You know, there's obviously lots of things to think about in terms of potential future teammates. Who knows? We will see how it all unfolds over the next 30 minutes. They've got a couple of minutes left now. I would say they're now in their setups thinking, you know, have they got the tyres right? Have they got the fueling right? Is the pit stop strap right? Have they got something in there in case it rains, because it did earlier? But they don't have to think about any of that right now. Although it might be an idea to have maybe a wet setup in there. You never know. You never know, do you? Right, who is that? 1 second. Oh, it's Martin Brundle. Yeah. No, mate. No. That's FRL all the way. Yeah. No, it's fine. So there you go. Right, 1 minute 25 to go. So, I think my wife's probably going to kill me, actually, come Tuesday, or maybe probably after Wednesday, because I did this 2-hour endurance race yesterday. We've got this amazing event going on this evening with the 2 races, and then obviously tomorrow we've got the Race of Champions, which I'm also doing. Thankfully I get a break on Tuesday, and then it'll be the podcast on Wednesday. So, I mean, it's all go, go, go. And something, guys, that I wanted to share with you. The growth that we've had, I know we talk about it quite a lot, and everyone that's in FRL is like, yeah, it's great. But if anyone does watch or is thinking about getting involved, might be intimidated because they might be watching the really quick guys, don't be. I think Crazy said earlier on today, I think we're 5, or Will said it, we're 5 away from having 700 members. I mean, wow, what an achievement that is. And that's down to everybody, not just the admins, that's down to all you guys that are driving, because you're making it a great environment for everybody. So, 20 seconds to go. Let's stop talking about all the nice stuff and let's get in the mind of these guys. So, I know for a fact that Pony Feeder's probably really, really nervous at the moment, just from some inside knowledge. But no, I'm sure he'll be fine. Keno in 16th. He's not going to be happy with that at all. And here we go then, off on the formation lap. Keep our eye on Graham. Oh, we love Helicam at the start, don't we? Because we get to see everybody sliding around or doing things they shouldn't do. So we will do that. So this will be the last evening of my commentary on the British GT3 Sundays. Obviously, we will wait to see what iterations come out from the update at the start of next week, and then obviously see where I can slot in again to help guide you all through, well, all the different scenarios that happen multiple times during the week, which I enjoy doing for you all. So probably a good time to say, if you are watching and you do like what's going on here, you like how, well, you like it, that's it, press like, yeah, just like it for me. That's all I need. That makes me happy. If you want to sub, that's fantastic, but I'm not, you know, if you like it, that gives me the satisfaction that I know people are appreciating the time and effort that goes in, and shows I might not just be talking waffle, which is probably debatable. Oh, what was that? Timmy's just sent me a message. No, Cooper, shush, you do, yeah. Well, used to be my friend, not anymore. I'm joking. Right, so as we're coming round, we've got Graham there. Spacey and that Bentley. He's not going to be easy to dispatch with, that's for sure, as Graham slows it right down. Maybe taking advantage that they're on the straight there, just to maybe, you know, keep those brakes on, put some extra heat, temperature through those brakes and in those tyres. So, guys, in the live chat, what do you think? Give me a prediction. Who do you think is going to come out on top in this first race? Or who do you think is going to win the championship? Michael, Graham, Lely, they're the three that you're going to assume it's going to work for. But you've got Crazies and you've got Traction who are not far away either. So, we'll have to see, won't we? So, 10 of you watching. The start of the race is coming, peeps. And it is going to be epic, as it always is, as they form up now 2 by 2. They've all taken their time. They've all made sure those tyres and those brakes are as much in the window as they can. Michael starts to back the pack up. Traction's next to him. Remember, those two very, very good mates. I want to see if Traction pretty much covers off Lely from the start. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. And they're still waiting. That's a long, long wait there. And they're off. Okay, Michael's got a great start there. And look at that. Nelio's tried to go right. Oh, Lelio and Graham. Graham's had a crash. Oh, my word. That is not good news. Graham's had a crash there with GT Jamie, I believe, which has allowed Michael to scamper away. Traction's followed him through. Lely had a very close coming together with Nelio there in the other Bentley. And Spacey got involved. Sorry, Nelio's in the Ferrari and Spacey in the Bentley. Those two got together as well, which has actually helped Lely. Because he's managed to break free from them, and at the moment Traction, you would say, okay, start the race, but Traction looks like he's got a bit of extra pace on Michael. I'm sure they're talking to each other as the timing screens do their usual sort of brain freeze, if you like. So we'll just wait for that to sort itself out. Michael's still up top. Traction. Then we've got Lely, and then behind them, look at that, Nelio in the Ferrari. Spacey's not far behind him at all. Fresh Brizzle Pony Feeder takes a little bit of dust there, and then Euphoric State, he's got himself, he's in 8th place in the Porsche, and then Crazies is in a good position there. He can keep a watching brief on those in front and their battles. And Chica in the Merc, he'll be hoping for a good run tonight. We've then got a gap back to Gamerdad, but that isn't Gamerdad there, is it? That's Evan IRL's got in front of Gamerdad, so maybe they've had a coming together. And then Marek is pretty close behind them in that Beamer. Where's Eric? So Eric Milden's moved up as well. So there is a lot going on at the moment. And you've got Hutch and Keno. They look like they've just swapped places. And then Graham's behind them. And so GT Jamie is currently plumb last at the moment. After that coming together. So remember, there is no mandatory stops. You can go into the pits if you wish, but you don't need to. So Michael up top as we're coming around to complete that lap. He's pulled a 6/10 of a second lead over Traction, and Traction's got himself half a second over Lely. These guys are all nice and close at the moment. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, let's jump on board with this one. I think we're going to get a move potentially down the hangar here, so we'll go on board with Fresh Brizzle as he's trying to put pressure on Spacey and Nelio. He's quite comfortable behind, I think, to Pony Feeder at the moment as they go through Chapel on the way down the hangar straight. Anyone got a decent tow? So Fresh Brizzle's not going to be able to take advantage of that. You can see there's a lot of action going on just up ahead of them at the moment. Okay, so Lely wants to put some pressure on. We've got to stay on board with this one. So Lely's looking to put pressure on Traction Dave. And obviously Traction, I believe, although we'll obviously want a good result, is obviously going to be trying to help out Michael. He got a little bit out of shape there, which caused that car to imbalance. So that will have lost some momentum as they've run down towards Abbey. Nice and committed. That McLaren moved around a little bit there through there. You don't want to be doing that too often. That will give you some, well, some heart palpitations anyway. Into Village we go. Bentley gets straight on the power there. We can see there's a nice little fight going on behind as well. So we've got to keep an eye on all of these things as they're going on at the moment. And traction, either traction is quicker than Michael because he's pulled away from Lely a bit there, or Michael's just not found his rhythm yet. You can see those boys are all nicely packed together at the moment. So let's have a look down the grid. So the top three, they're having an epic battle. I told you it'd be epic. Nelio there in the Ferrari is doing really well. He's got Spacey all over the back of him in his number 12 Bentley. That was a nice cut there. Fresh Brizzle then in the other Bentley, and then you've got Pony Feeder, who's a second further back. Euphoric State and Crazy. So Crazy's is looking to have a go on that one. And then we've got SOP, Steve and Marek. I think we need to look at that because there's a move happening right now. Is he going to duck it up the inside? As Steve gets on the power there, so Marek in that Beamer, and who's he got behind him? Kino. So Kino's got damage, looks like he's got some damage on the front of that Ferrari, which is unfortunate, as they go through Maggots and Beckett's, showing his nose there, trying to unnerve Steve as they go through there, because if he gets offline, that could allow Kino to get a good run onto the hangar straight. So these three, all similarly paced at the moment. Again, it's another great battle that we've got going on. You can see in the map on the left-hand corner there, everyone is still together. So nothing's really spreading out at the moment. We're 5 minutes into this 30-minute sprint race. Remember, no pit stops needed. It's just go, 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 which is fantastic. We're going to have a late move under brakes there. No, and you can see Kino is interested, isn't he? See, I wonder, in the Porsches, oh, okay, Marek's taking a little bit extra there, so let's see how she handles through Abby. Okay, who's that? Is that Fresh Brizzle who's just gone off? No, it's Chica. Chica's had an off. That's unfortunate for him as Kino comes deep into there. Deep into Village and into the loop. I think Marek's holding Steve up at the moment. We know that Porsche's got extremely good traction. He's very good on the brakes. I just think that Beamer's getting in the way a little bit, but in terms of a straight line punch, you can see the Beamer, she's moving away a little bit, maybe only half a tenth or a tenth, but she's carrying that straight line grunt. This is a good little battle, this one. Are we going to get a move done? Maybe down into Coops, if he gets a good exit here out of Luffield. He's got a great run out of there. He had to back out a little bit, actually. So let's see if the power in that Beamer can save Marek on the way down to Coops. Yeah, there's no move on there, is there? He's got a holder through there. Kino comes piling through behind them. Into Maggots and Beckett as we go. I love this. I love this track. It's amazing. And I'm even moving my head around. I'm not even driving today. Stop it, Coops. Marek's gone wide there. This should be a move. There should definitely be a move done here. As he pulls alongside, let's see. You can just see him there. Come on. Look at the pace on that beam. Look, starting to pull away. She's got some grunt. He might have to do a move on the brakes there, but he's not close enough. Well, Marek's probably gone a bit deep, but just manages to keep hold of it. That is a battle which is going to be very interesting because throughout the course of the lap, those two are very evenly matched. Let's have a quick look at the front. Okay, we've missed a move there. Traction Dave's obviously had an off. He's back down to 7th. So Michael's up top. Let's change this view. So Michael's up top. Lenny's now in 2nd place. So Michael's doing what he needs to do. If you remember in Tacos in the 2nd race last week at Mazzano, Michael needed to win that race to have any chance. He did that. He won that race, and Graham ended up in 3rd. Did enough to collect the points and take that championship. A similar-ish scenario today. Michael just needs to win, and he's doing that at the moment. He's got a 1.3 second lead over Lenny, and then we've got a move going on there. Spacey, that was aggressive, and Nelly, he's looking to hold that inside line. Is he going to keep that position? He is at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at that, because we know these two have been really close together as well for the entire race so far. As we come down towards Coops, let's just watch how the Bentley moves. So no down change there from Nelia. That was interesting. And then you can see Fresh Brizzle isn't too far behind either. As we go into Maggots and Beckett's from this view is going to be pretty awesome. See how those cars look at that Bentley. Look at how much extra speed she took through there. But got her all out of shape. Not massively, but she was offline, which again has then allowed that Ferrari just to pull away. Right, so interestingly, whilst I'm trying to keep an eye on all this, and there's a lot to keep an eye on, Lurches has popped a question in on the chat, so I'll pull out of that view so we can keep an eye on that while I use my brain. So, Lurches is saying that yes, we all know the Beamer's got really good top-end speed, which he does have, and that is correct. Which car does he think, do I think, is the best all-rounder? Wow, Lurches, that is a good question. I would have to say, in this game, on the PlayStation, on the PS4, I do really like the Ferrari. I drive the Ferrari as Nelio gets a little bit out of shape there, and that is allowing Spacey again to close up fresh. Brizzle is right on him. Lely is only 4 tenths behind Michael now. There's a lot going on here, peeps. I hope you can all keep up. And then we've got Traction, who's still battling away there in 7th place. Ponyfeed is doing a great job in 6th at the moment, so he's got to be happy with that as a reserve. Crazies is just going about his business. He's in 8th place with ERT all over the back of him in his 111 Bentley. So closest battle on track at the moment. We've still got this battle between Spacey. It's not actually. It's Chica. Euphoric State. Okay, I think we'll have a bit of this. Kino's in there as well. Lurches, I will come back to you, my friend, and give you an answer on that. I've got an answer in my head, but I can't take my eyes off this for now. As we're coming through Luffield, so Chica obviously had that off earlier on. We caught it as we were on board with SOP Steve when he was battling with Marek, if you remember. Kino's obviously got ahead after that move as well. So Chica's looking, he's got a lot of making up to do. Kino's, you know, he's not going to want to have a bad race. And Euphoric State in his Porsche, him and Evan behind, they're having a bit of a ding-dong, aren't they? As coming to Maggots and Beckett's. I think this is a good view. So we can also keep it all, and they've look at that, guys. What a not great for them, but what a great view that was. We saw them both coming into Maggots and Beckett's there. That McLaren, we know she's highly aero dependent, as is the Porsche, and they were both going in too hot. They probably backed off a little bit too much in terms of the throttle, and both back ends went, and they both pirouetted beautifully. So that is unfortunate for Evan and for Euphoric State. So Hutch is back, still putting that pressure on Kino. That was very nearly a collection there. Easy, Chica, easy. And that gives Kino a lot of breathing space. So up top, Michael's still winning, three and a bit tenths ahead of Lely. That's now increased to 8 tenths. That's half a second. Something's happened there. Spacey's running in 3rd in the last podium place. Great run from him so far in that Bentley. Nelio is 4th, and those two were a lot closer even. Fresh Bizzle 5th, Ponyfeeder 6th, Traction 7th. I'd love to know what's happened to him. Obviously he qualified 2nd, was running 2nd, and then we were looking at another fight and ended up in 7th. Milden is only 4 and a bit tenths behind Crazies, so that is our next battle to have a look at. So Crazies in the Aston, going through Luffield. We always seem to pick him up at Luffield as well, don't we? He looks like he's all over him, doesn't he? So Crazies, don't think Crazies is a huge fan of that Aston, as Milden shows his nose there, obviously trying to distract him, and she got sideways then. That's going to give him the run. These two are going to be very similarly paced along here. The Aston has got some good grunt. Don't know what is going on with the view on the Bentley there, so we'll change that. Through Maggots and Beckett's, nice and tight from Milden. Crazy's looks like he's composed himself again as they now go down the Hanger Straight. So, Lurchies, the answer to your question, my friend, on the PS4, I would say is the Ferrari. I know she can be temperamental, but I think the Ferrari is a great all-rounder. On PC, and this is pre-update, I would have said the Aston. The Aston is beautiful on PC. As Milden goes deep in there, he's putting a lot of pressure on Crazies at the moment. So Crazies is having to, he's having to think, he's having to push at the same time. Let's go on board with Crazies, and then we can look at it from a different angle, guys. And we can listen to the Aston. So, rear wing, thrustmaster. I wonder if that's true, Crazies. Probably is. Slightly different line there. That was a good run out of there. ERT Milden did really impress me last night. He had a great drive, and you can see we've got no longer the Pink Panther behind him. We've got the slightly more grown-up version of that Jag from Gamerdad, who's doing a great job at the moment, running in 10th place. So these boys are being tested already. We're not quite halfway through. Remember, this is a straight sprint. No pit stops, no tyres, no fuel. These guys are just at it till the finish line. They've got nothing else to think about other than where to place that car and what their plan of attack or defence is at the moment. Georgie Priest is in the chat. Evening, Georgie. Great to have you with us, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good day. Okay, so that's good to know, Lurchies. Macca, okay. Oh, who's that? Oh, I missed that. Was that Traction? Yeah, it was Traction. Traction's had another off. He's not happy, is he? Traction, what are you doing, bruv? So he's back on. Anyway, let's have a quick look up the top. Let us change the view so we can actually hear what's going on. So Michael is still leading. We're just coming up to halfway now. You're going to hear my spotter say in a minute you're halfway.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
It's like I've got a crystal ball. Anyway, so he is currently nearly half a second ahead of Lely still. Hasn't been able to shake him though. Lely's been there the entire race. Spazey's currently third. He's doing really well in that Bentley. Nellio's fourth. Fresh Brizzle is still fifth. Pony Feeder sixth. No change there. Crazies has obviously been elevated up to seventh, although maybe not for long though. No, he hasn't. Milden's made the move, so Milden, trust it when I come off to have a look at everything else. So Milden's made the move on Crazies, so he's gone up to seventh. Crazies is now in eighth then. Let's see if he can come back at him. And then look, Traction Dave, he's fighting so hard. I mean, do you know what? He was probably pushing so hard to make up from that first error that caused the second one, which is a real shame when that happens. And Traction's a great guy. You know, he doesn't have a lot of luck at the moment. Traction 9th, Gamerdad 10th. Look how wide Crazies has gone then. That's going to allow Traction to go through. Crazies is going to fight that. He's got the inside line though. We should drift that out wide a little bit. Yeah, it covers that off. But then Traction's tried to get a little bit of a cutback. You could see as they were going through Luffield there, slightly different lines. Right, let's have a look. Are we going to get a move? Be brave. Come on, Traction. That's not really on the Aston. Okay, so Crazies, that happened before, and so that back end's going really light on turning as Gamerdad comes flying past on the right hand side there again. So Traction, you can count yourself unlucky there, mate, because you had to get out of the way. Crazies' back end was on its way and you took evasive action. You're trying too hard. Slow it down, mate. And that caused you to go off track. So you are still alive though, but now SOP Steve, who's made that move on Marek, remember that was a battle we were watching earlier on, that Beamer, and he's managed to make that move on him. So now SOP in that Porsche, he's looking to try and get onto the back of Traction and capitalise. Marek's still in 12th place, and then Kino in the other Ferrari, so that's Pony Feeder's teammate. He's 6/10ths further back. Chica's 14th. Remember, Chica's so far, he's not had a great race. He obviously had an issue earlier on. We saw a spin or an off on the track, and that's put him way out of place. He's in 14th. GT Jamie obviously had that contact with IR Graham on the first corner, and that's put both of those two way out of place. Evan IRL is 16th, Hutch 17th, and IR Graham is 18th. Now, I don't want to be controversial here, but if I was also IR Graham and I had contact on the first lap of this double header with a full reverse grid, I think we can all put the dots together there, I too may be 18th or 19th, because potentially I'll start the next race first. However, if Michael can produce the goods in this race and take 80 points, yeah, he's going to then have an 86 point lead. over IR Graham going into the final half an hour race. And then even if Graham wins that and picks up 80 points, well, you're doing the maths. He's still 6 points off. So I think if Graham wants to keep this one alive, he needs to be around 15th, 14th, 15th really, just to pick up some points on this one. And Michael goes really wide there, so Lely's now 1.9 off, so either he's had an off or Michael's decided to put the hammer down. We've got just over 11 minutes left of this. Let's come out of this view. So I hope you're all keeping up with this. There's a hell of a lot going on, which is fantastic for all of us. Look at that. Okay, Traction now wants a piece of Gamer Dad. Let's go on board with Gamer Dad, because he's also hunting down Crazies. We're going to get a good audio of these cars, because they all sound absolutely fantastic. You can see that Traction was able to get the power down quicker as they come onto the Hamilton straight down towards Emily. Let's see how committed Gamer Dad is through here. Nice, beautiful through there, nice and stable. Traction gets through there as well. On the brakes, nice and hard, down to first, get her tucked in. Look to be halfway across, then you want to be pulling that over to the left, the right hand side, hard on the brakes, get her turned in. You can hear the Traction kicking in there as well. Onto the Wellington straight. So I would actually be very interested to see if Crazies has the same issue that he has done on the last couple of laps I've watched him into Coops. So, you know, for knowledge purposes, I'm going to stick on and I'm going to have a look at this, because Traction's looking pretty racy and SOP Steve isn't too far behind. So let's see what happens through Coops. Traction's really closing in on that. So look at Crazies in front. No, she was alright that time. So maybe it was just because she was being pushed so hard, you know, it took his eye off the ball slightly as we go into Maggots and Beckett's. Traction's not going to get a move done there. Look at these cars just moving around. It's absolutely awesome. Traction, wow. I mean, he was pretty much off the ground there, wasn't he? Look at that. Okay, brilliant. So let's go back. There's some great racing tonight. This is just the first one. Can't wait for the second one either. Michael is still doing what he needs to do. He's got a 2.5 second lead, so he's got to be happy with that. Nelio, you know what? It's a brilliant drive so far from you, mate, in third place in that Ferrari. But Fresh Brizzle has got himself up. Spazie's obviously had an off because he was running third or fourth. He's now down in sixth. So Fresh Brizzle and Ponyfeed have moved up as Traction goes off track there. He's pushing so hard, but you're going to invite pressure from SOP Steve shortly, mate. ERT Milden's doing a great job there in 7th place. Then we're watching Crazies is just in front of this battle here. Gamer Dad and Traction, they've been having a great fight for the last couple of laps. SOP Steve is just keeping a watching brief behind them in the Porsche, hoping to pick up some pieces if something happens. And then Marek Mariola in that Beamer's not had the greatest, not the greatest of races. He had a really good battle with SOP Steve. Kino is, I think Kino's got damage. I know he's only 3 tenths behind. I do want to have a look at that, but I feel a move coming. Here. Traction closes right up onto the back of Gamer Dad. GT Jamie's still running. He's in 14th. Evan IRL in the number 2 McLaren. He's running in 16th. And then we've got Hutch 17th and IR Graham in 18th. If you're wondering why is IR Graham, who's second place in the championship by 8 points in 18th, that is because he had a great start off the line. It's Traction, Dave and Gamer Dad look like wow, how did they not touch? There? Gamer Dad's forced to go wide there. Right, let's get on board with Traction. It's probably going to curse him now as we go for Maggots and Beckett's. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's watch him put some pressure on down the hanger straight. A little bit of oversteer there. You can see the steering corrections. And off we go. It's a good run out of there. Yeah, so I was saying, IR Graham, he qualified only 6th. So obviously had quite a lot to do. Had contact with GT Jamie and the Lamborghini in the first corner. Both of those two obviously went sailing off the track. And that's why he finds himself last I mean, if it's tactical, as I said before, I don't think that's going to work for him. If Michael wins the race, I think Graham needs to get up the field a bit, but with no mandatory stops, if you are going to take a stop for damage in this race, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot, which may be why he's just elected to stay out, as these three carry on having their beautiful fight as they go steaming through Abbey there, down into Village. Traction's going for it. Traction's gone for a late move, and he's got to stop that. Traction, well, that was a fantastic move, guys. That was an amazing move. Beautiful on the brakes there. He got her stopped, turned in perfectly on the apex. Gamer Dad can't really complain about that. That releases Traction to go and have a nibble at Crazies, which I'm sure he will. And SOP Steve, you can see just behind in the Porsche, well, he looks like he's lining up a go on Gamer Dad as well. So let's have a look at that. As Traction, you can see, I would suggest Gamer Dad was holding him up, because he's left him, hasn't he? Crazies, here we go. We're picking them up in the same place as always, with pressure. Let's see what that back end does. Watch that steering wheel. Let's see how much he has to turn left potentially. No, not at all, but Traction's got a great drive out of there. Traction, he wants to move. Crazies, he's just going to squeeze that slightly. He's not going to go through there. They're not going to go two abreast through there. Traction does the right thing and backs out. Crazies manages to get through there nice and tight. Beautiful lines, down changing at the right times, keeping that momentum going. And that was beautiful through there, Crazies. But Traction, well, he's not having none of it. And you could just see Gamer Dad and SOP, those two are really, really close as well. Just behind them, you can see it there at the top of the picture. So we've got battles going on everywhere. It looks like Traction's trying to make a move then. Lucky that didn't spit him out. You could see the back end tried to snap back on him. So Michael's still winning at the front. Lenny's still second place, 1.7 behind. Nelio's holding that last podium place. But Fresh Brizzle, look at that. He's brought that down by a second. He's only 4/10 behind. So that's going to develop into a fight. We've got just 4.5 minutes left of this. It's been absolutely frantic. Amazing, absolutely amazing stuff. Gamer Dad's in at 10th. SOP is right on him as well. Look at this. We've got battles everywhere. Everywhere. Marek's only 6/10 off the back of Keno. I'm sure Keno's got a hope. I'm sure he's carrying damage he can keep out of that. Chica's still going, so well done, mate. He's going to pick up some points for that. GT Jamie, I think, is running with damage, as probably is Evan, because we saw Evan, was it Evan and Euphoric State, who looks like Euphoric State has rage quit, unfortunately. Those two had a lovely spin as they were going through Maggots and Beckett's, if you remember, a few laps ago. And then IR Graham has managed to put a move on Hutch, so that's good for him. I think he needs one more move to be able to still challenge for that championship in race 2. We shall see. So, as we're looking at Fresh Brizzle trying to put the pressure on, let's have a look at him. So he's been slowly reeling Nelio in over the last few laps. This is for the podium. Both of these two would love to be stood on that step, no doubt. Both very, very good competitors. They put a lot of work in. They want a reward for that in this final GT3 race meet at Silverstone for this championship. But again, like Lurchies was saying earlier on about the Ferrari, you know, everyone's like Bentley. The Ferrari does drive very well. You know this, Lurchies, actually. The first time me and you ever crossed each other on the racetrack was at Silverstone. And I was in the Ferrari coming through this section here. And you were like, I just couldn't keep up with you. And, I mean, you might do now, because obviously, you know, you've been in it a lot longer. But that was in the Ferrari. She's a great little car. I like her. So, as we're watching this battle develop, keep an eye on the timings. No change there. Fresh Brizzle, Spacey still 5th. Okay, Pony Feeder 7th. So, Spacey's managed to... No, he's holding that position. Crazies and Traction. This is... look, we've got 4 of them. And Gamer Dad, he's obviously our featured driver. So, I think we've got 2 minutes left. I think we need to enjoy this quartet. All playing their own tune, through their own instrument, sounding beautiful, challenging each other. Every position counts. It's double points. Everything can make a difference. As you see, Crazy's, oh, she's a handful. He positioned that well. He was really holding on to her there. He was understeering. Traction wants a piece. Gamer Dad. Oh my word. Right, I'm going to stay on for this bit. We'll keep an eye. Well, we'll watch all of them from here, shall we? Thanks, Crazies, for being my camera. We'll see what Crazies does through Coops. Seems to have had that more stable. Oh my word, Traction. Wow. Traction's going to get a good run out of there. Look at that run he's got. Same as last time. Traction's probably been watching that for a few laps, thinking, okay, potentially that Aston's a bit weak through there. Gamer Dad is now coming up to the back of Traction again. So now Traction's in a sandwich and he's thinking, right, I want this position of Crazies. I know I'm faster, and he probably is quicker in terms of qualifying pace and all those things. Gamer Dad runs a bit wide there, just slightly onto the grass. That might give SOP Steve an opportunity. But you've got to remember, Traction pulled a great move off on the brakes late earlier on Gamer Dad, and I'm just wondering if he's going to set him up for the same as they come down hard on the brakes. Very defensive for Crazies. Parks that car nicely. Great defensive driving. Traction, he's not giving up though. Traction wants a piece. Come on, guys, this is amazing. But you can't deny Crazies is placing that car beautifully. Good commitment from the boys. This is where Traction made his move earlier on the brakes. That late move. Crazies goes defensive. Just covers that apex off. And Traction clobbers that sausage curb. Didn't need that. That's brought Gamer Dad right onto the back of him. And then you got the Porsche of SOP Steve. Michael's on the final lap then. I can't really come off this, to be honest with you, because this is some of the best racing I've seen, that you guys will have seen as well. Michael is still out up top. Lenny's still second. Nelio is still in third place. So those three haven't changed. Fresh Brizzle's dropped off by about 5/10, so he's now almost a second behind in fourth place. Then we've got Spacey and ERT Milden currently in sixth place still. Great drive from him. Look how close. Look at that mirror down the bottom there. Traction's closing up all the time. Pony Feeder's had a great one so far in the seventh place. And then we were Crazy's Traction, Gamer Dad and SOP Steve. Keno DJ, he's having a good solid run there as we come into Coops. How's she going to go for you? Yeah, you can hear the throttles on slightly there just to keep a little bit of weight on the back end, which was obviously giving him some issues earlier on as they come up into Magnussen Beckett's for the last time. Marek Mariola is still in 13th place, Chica 14th, Jamie I think is running with damage in 15th, then we've got Evan in 16th, and then Graham and Hutch bringing up the rear in 17th and 18th. So, did you get all that? Good. Let's keep an eye like this, shall we? And you've got two. You've got a battle right at the back there. There's two just coming through Maggots and Beckett. So as they come up towards Stowe, it's now or never. Are we going to get a lunge? Is Traction going to go all or nothing here? He's trying to go around the outside. He was going for a cutback then. He's not. He's trying to force the issue because he knows that Crazies keep sticking that on the apex. Great driving. Oh, I think if Traction had been a bit braver then, Crazies would have given him the room. I think he would have given him the room to make that move, but Traction again with some good driving backed out of that, and that now allows Gamer Dad to get all over the back of him. It looks like Michael's finished. I can't come off this. Cannot come off this battle. As we come through towards the end, there he goes. He's trying. Do you know what? You can't fault that. Brilliant driving from Crazies there. Great defensive driving. Brilliant attacking driving from Traction, but also being aware of the fact that Crazies was going to defend in that way, and Gamer Dad behind did exactly the same thing. This is the type of racing we get here every single day. Oh no, Traction, good job you dude. So Traction, he went for a late move there. He got all out of shape. I think he deliberately got out of the way. Obviously didn't want to take Crazies out, and then nearly took Gamer Dad out. So I think Traction's actually going to let Gamer Dad past him there. It'll be interesting to see if he did that, because Gamer Dad obviously slowed up a lot. So race over. So there we go, everybody. They're not actually showing as stopped, but they have. That was... What's the word I'm looking for? Epic. That was epic. Congratulations, Michael. Takes the first win of this evening. double points. Looking good for the championship, my friend. Lenny takes second place. Great run from him. That will put him second place. Nelio, what a great run to get third. That was fantastic. Fresh Brazil, great challenge all race long. You come in fourth place. Spacey, obviously you had an issue, which was unlucky, but you finished fifth, which is more than respectable. ERT Milden, again, great showing from you, my friend. I think that's your second race with us. Impressive. Pony Feeder as a reserve, that's a great effort from you in the Ferrari. Crazies, well, I think, guys, we've just seen a masterclass in defensive driving there. Traction Dave, unlucky, qualified second, then had at least 2 issues in the race, but epic fight with Crazies for probably 10 minutes at the end there. Gamer Dad was involved in that as well, a couple of attempts behind, as was SOP Steve. Those 4 were absolutely nose to tail. Kino DJ in 12th, he did a great effort. He was running with damage, so I think that's probably the best he could have done with that. Chica had a spin at the beginning, so he managed to claw his way back to 13th. Marek 14th in the Beamer. GT Jamie had that, what we're looking for? Collision, that's the only way we could say it. It wasn't a crash, they touched with IR Graham. Yeah, and then you had Evan and Hutch at the back. Wowza. Okay, so if you didn't get that, that was pretty epic. Just gonna have a look at the live chat and then I'll come back and let you know what is going on. They're not all just having a break in the pits. Right, Bruges, oh, sorry Mike, I keep hitting this guy, right. Right, Bruges is in, he's had a message retracted. Like Bruges is saying, great racing everyone. Yeah, certainly is. Yeah, the blue on Dave's car's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful, Lurchies. And he does remember the Ferrari at Silverstone. Good. Looking forward to seeing how everyone sorts the grid out. Okay, so that was a good race, Fresh Brazil. You are correct. Let's see more of it, please, in the second one. So, what's happening at the moment? You're probably wondering to yourselves. Well, I'll tell you what's happening at the moment. If you just give me one moment, just to... It's probably cold, but we'll get it on there. There you go. Certainly is cold. Lovely. Love cold coffee. So currently all the drivers, they've all legged it out the cars and they've all gone back to the drivers' briefing room. So we are going to move into our second feature race of the evening and our final one for this entire championship. Okay. Now, I did say at the top of the show, it is a complete reverse grid. So basically, Michael's going to start at the back. Graham won't start second place. Obviously, Graham finished last, so Graham would start at the front, and so on and so forth. So it will be completely reversed. Now, what's happening is, because there isn't a facility on the PS4 or PS5, I believe, to have that run correctly, what the admin guys and crazies, bless him, he's probably sweating a little bit. What they're going to do at the moment is they're going to be just making sure that everybody knows where they need to be on the grid. Okay, so they'll be giving those positions out to everyone, and then obviously we will have the formation lap where everybody has got to use their brain a little bit and make sure they are in the right place on the track to ensure that that reverse grid happens correctly. Now, we've never done this before, so it may work beautifully, and I hope it does, or it might be a total disaster. And if that's the case, then well, we tried, didn't we? I'm sure it won't be a disaster. But that certainly opens things up in the championship. So if Michael's just bagged himself 80 points and he had an 8-point lead, that will be 88 points. And Graham finished 18th and last. So let's say he picked up 2 or double, so 4 points maybe for 18th. That would put him at a 4-point deficit. So he would probably be 84 points behind Michael now. So if IR Graham starts from first place, which he will do, and Michael starts from last place, which he will do, if that stays the same, by my mathematics, if they are correct, then Michael should already be crowned champ. But I don't know. We will find that out. We'll see what transpires with that. Let's have a quick look, and let's actually delve into the Discord and see what people are discussing in there. So bear with me, guys. Yeah, not too much on there at the moment. I think everyone's just probably getting a breather, to be fair. I think I managed to take about 3 breaths during the last 12 minutes of that race. Yeah, not much chat going on there. So they're probably just checking, making sure they know where they're at, and they're probably just having a quick breather, really, quick break. Which I don't blame them, to be fair. Might have a little bit of water, actually. Just change that over. This isn't an FRL water dispensing device. This is a Peroni one, which I swapped out for the, obviously, healthy H2O. But yeah. So, winners and losers of that race. I've got to say, I mean, who do we feel sorry for there? I mean, I really feel sorry for Gamerdad. He qualified second, which was impressive. He did his job. We don't have teammates, obviously, in this championship. It's every man for himself. Who's on track? Hutch is on track. Let's watch someone go around the track. Thank you, Hutch, whilst I talk. I do really feel for Gamerdad because he qualified second. He started the race. He did the defensive duties. No, Hutch, put it on the track. On the track, Hutch. Thank you. He held Lely off nicely. He actually looked quicker than Michael. I've got to say, traction at the start, I did say, looked like he was actually quicker than Michael. Held Lely off and then had an incident somewhere. We missed that one because we'd gone on to have a look at Marek and SOP in the Beamer and the Porsche respectively. They were having a great battle, and by the time we come off that one, traction had dropped down to 7th place. So and we know what happened for the rest of that race. Him, Crazy's, Gamerdad and SOP were all pretty much lying astern, you know, having great battles. So, you know, I need to thank them for that because that was absolutely great racing to commentate on. Go on, Hutch. Oh no, I've done it again. Sorry. Yeah, Fresh Bizzle hopes he can go sort of P16 up to the top 5. This is the beauty of it. I mean, we used to do a similar format to this in the previous iteration when it was just GT3 Sunday, and we had teams involved in that as well. And in that scenario, the top 3, so the podium from race 1, they weren't allowed to qualify for race 2 and had to start at the back. And those races were always really interesting because obviously you had the quick guys were trying to come through the pack, and then you had the other guys that were, you know, maybe just not quite as quick. They were trying to sprint away at the front, and ultimately they would be squabbling because they were trying to get their 5 minutes of fame, if you like, you know, in terms of the race and getting that positive result. And ultimately the guys at the back would end up coming through, but you had pit stops involved there, whereas we don't here. So there's no strategy. We can't do an early pit stop, get it out the way, and then run in clear air. That's not going to happen here. It's just a straight sprint. You know, lights to flag. So is Michael going to be able to go from last and get himself back up to the podium? I would say no. Can he get into the mid pack? Maybe. But again, this is the thing. He's going to be behind. Everyone is behind. They're not slow, are they? They're all still quick. He's going to be behind 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place. And I tell you what, the beautiful thing about this race is we had Crazies, Traction, Gamer, and SOP Steve. And obviously in this race, they're going to start SOP Steve, Gamerdad, Traction and Crazies. They're going to be flipped round, so those 4 could end up having exactly the same battle for half an hour, just the opposite way around. Which, hey, bring that on, because that was pretty epic. What's that word again? I like that word. So thanks for everybody for watching. Okay, I appreciate it. I know there's not exactly a lot of action going on at the moment. Hopefully I'm giving you a good insight into what happened in the last race, what those connotations could be, what it means for the championship. We did a full lap guide earlier on. If you missed that, please have a watch at the beginning. We had a great interview with Gamer Dad. He's our featured driver today, who's made that Jag grow up a little bit. She's not just totally pink now. She's got a little bit more of a grown-up livery there, which is pretty cool. We've got reserves in that are doing extremely well. We've got this last 30-minute race. We've got 30 seconds till they line up on the grid. Don't go anywhere, guys, because that first race was epic. This one's going to be even better, and it will be. And we're going to get a champion at the end. So it's anybody's guess. Anyone want to pop a thing in the live chat and tell me who they think is going to win this race? It should be Graham, really. But then GT Jamie's not slow, and obviously he ended up collecting Graham, or vice versa. So those two are going to have a good battle at the front. Let's see what happens. So speaking of that battle that we just had, that four-way battle, guys, if you like that racing, if you think that's worth watching more often, pop a like on there, please, because this is, as I said to you in the stream earlier on, this is the type of racing we get all the time. So if you think I'm keeping up with this and it's entertaining, which I know it is, and you want to see more of it, pop a like on there. And let it get out to other people, because we're all race fans at heart, aren't we? It's just mad. It's just mad. Anyway, so let's do a bit more FRL plugins. So again, this beautiful garment I'm wearing this evening, you would have seen this quite a lot recently. I do have other t-shirts and shirts. I do just wear this when I do the commentary, by the way. I do sometimes wash it. Provided by everyone at FRL, which is fantastic. Daz Parker gets involved with that for us. You've seen the coffee delivery device there. There's so much going on within FRL at the moment. Again, I will urge you, go towards the website so you can have a look at all of the championships that have been going on. I think the main thing is, at the moment, obviously we've got this update coming up. Tomorrow night, you will get to listen to me blart on again if you want to. You can always press mute, I suppose. Racer Champions tomorrow, Suzuka. We did a video earlier on today. Hey, have a look at that at the car reveal. So they're all going to be driving the same vehicle. They've all had, or time is running out, they've all gone into a 25-hour practice period, essentially, where they've got to have a look at their setups, practice, tweak, get those cars ready. And you've got the champions from all of our leagues over the last few months are going to come together tomorrow and do battle. So you need to be tuning in for that one. All right? If you don't, I'll be disappointed, because that one will be epic. Coops competition. Who won that one? Me. Right, 7 in. Okay, guys, we're getting ready. 3 minutes to go. So let's have a look. Well, that isn't right, though, is it? This is a total unknown. So what I'm going to do as the commentator for this one is I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to describe what I see. But Michael shouldn't be there. So when they pull off, I assume everyone's then going to split and allow the other individuals to come through to their designated positions that they would have just been given during that 10-minute break. That would be the sensible thing to do. So it will be an unguided formation lap to allow those positional changes to happen. We'll see if that transpires. I'm sure it will. Alright, crazy game. Yeah, I think that will happen. Well, it's quite sad, isn't it, really? We've got 30 minutes left, 30 minutes of racing left of our GT3 season. We won't have another one like this with all these guys in at the same time, because obviously when that update comes in, we're going to have a split down the middle in terms of PS4 and PS5. And I know the guys on PS5 will probably still be able to go on to PS4 and play that version of the game, but are they going to? You know, are they going to? Because I'm sure the PS5 version is light years ahead of the PS4 version. And why would you want to go back to that? Because the fidelity, everything you're seeing, the FPS, you know, how the car's feeding, that's all going to be totally different on a PS5 to a PS4. So, yeah, this is the last time I would suggest the last time you're going to see these 18 all on the grid together. They gave us a great race in the first one. Let's hope they give us a better one this time out, that we can round out this season. And no doubt this will be a great topic actually for the FRL cast on Wednesday, because again we're always looking to innovate and look at new ways of doing things. 30 seconds just been called, so it's probably something we're going to have a chat about. Again, anyone watching, if you've got any questions, don't ask me now, because I've got other things to think about and keep an eye on, but if you do have any questions, pop it over to the FRL cast email address, so Formula Racing League 0@gmail.com. Pop a question in. Yeah, we'll address it and we can have a chat about it on Wednesday. Quite happy to do that. And there we go then. 0, we are going to start. So Graham's gone into the pits. Pony's gone into the pits. Okay. So again, we've got to bear with this. This isn't a normal scenario. So Hutch was obviously almost last, so he's gone out. He's gone out up front, and then everybody else behind have been told to wait 3 seconds, and then they can move off. Yeah, and then obviously once everybody is moving and are in the correct positions for the reverse grid, then they can all start to form up 2 by 2. They know which side they need to be on as per instruction in that 10-minute break. So the proof will be in the pudding. The fact that Graham's in the pits is concerning, because why would he be in the pits? You know, Graham should be out up front. So that's very concerning. Anyway, so let's have a look at how they're lining up at the moment. So Hutch is lining up in first place. Keno is then in second according to that, with Evan. And then GT Jamie, that makes sense. So SOP Steve probably shouldn't be there. I think Marek should be in front of SOP Steve. You got Gamer Dad, Chica shouldn't be there, I don't think. Traction, Crazies, they're about right. Milden and Spacey, they're about right. And then Fresh Brazil, Nelio, Lely and Michael, yes, okay. So that does look almost perfect. So well done on executing that at the moment, guys. Hutch, you probably need to slow down a bit, mate, and let everyone else back up, catch up behind you. Oh, we didn't press drive. Yeah, of course not. Oh, yeah, because he was probably just thinking, what do I do here? Do I go? Do I wait? Do I move over? What do I do? And then he's probably missed out on that time. Oh, Graham. Oh, my word. Well, I tell you what, if Graham is going to challenge for this championship now, I think that's it gone, to be fair. But if Graham's got a challenge for this, he's got to have the absolute drive of his life. Now, I'm not going to underestimate Graham. He's rapid, and he's mega consistent. You know, Graham's always 1, 2 or 3. But to come back from the pit lane on a reverse grid, knowing that he needs to win this race to have any chance. And I don't even think, from doing my maths previously, even if he wins this race and Michael finishes 16th where he is now, that's not going to be good enough for him. So who knows? But I think, Michael, you've just got your first trophy, dude. Right then, U6, are you looking forward to this? I'm ready. We've got half an hour left to go. This is the final half an hour's worth of racing at the British GT3 Short Sprint Championship within FRL. And we're ready. They're waiting. And they wait. And they wait. They're all formed up nicely. That grid looks good. They're going to go now. Go on, go.
Green light.
Go, 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 and they're off. Okay, so let's see. What's Hutch going to do? Is he going to get a good start on there? Right, so straight away, Evan manages to make a move in the McLaren as they go into Maggots and Beckett's. Hutch is still in second place, and then GT Jamie in the Lambo, he's so far clean. He's definitely going to want to have a cleaner race this time out. Obviously, he had that damage last time. And then we've got SOP Steve, is currently in 4th place. Not sure he should be there, to be honest with you. We'll check that afterwards. Chica's in 5th. You can see GT Jamie in that Lambo is looking all kinds of racy. And then, who have we got behind there? There's a nice battle going on there. It's not Lely, that's SOP Steve and Chica, isn't it? Yeah. So these boys are having a go. And then Kino, oh, we've got a turnaround there. Who was that? Was that Traction turned around again? Traction has been turned around. And we've got all kinds of issues going on there. So that's Marek Mariola, Traction, and is that Fresh Brizzle? It is Fresh Brizzle. And you got Crazies there as well. Crazies is off track. See, I told you this was going to be absolutely epic, and it is. And look, even so much so that Pony Feed has actually gone and got ahead of Crazies. Where's Graham? Right, Graham is running there. He's in front, I believe, of Fresh Brizzle. Where's Michael? You can't still be there, mate. Okay, so Michael is obviously trying to get his way through the pack. Is that Lenny making a move? Yep. Let's go on board. Let's go on board with Nelio. So again, these guys, Nelio finished 3rd in the last race, remember. He's trying to get past Gamer Dad as they're going down the Wellington Straight, I believe, there. Yeah, and then he's got Nelio. Is he going to make a move there? He's going to be brave. He has. He's gone straight up there. No reply from Gamer Dad. And you could see Lely just cut across there beautifully. Took the Lando line through there. And away we go, on the way down to Coops. So, an eventful lap 1. Yeah, I think you'll agree with that. Down to Coops, Nelio in the Ferrari. Gamer Dad is under some pretty heavy pressure there from Lely. And then Michael is just sat behind him. So, in terms of points, obviously Michael will be aware that Lely is his closest competitor now. And so all he needs to do... Oh, we've got another one who's turned around there. That's Kino DJ. That's unfortunate. So he looks like he's got a little bit too hot into Maggots and Beckett's, and that Ferrari's just spat him out. You can see him just coming across the grass at the top there. Unlucky Kino, my friend. He didn't have a lot of luck in the last race either by what I saw. So out up top, Evan in the McLaren is up top. Hutch is still 2nd. Then GT Jamie 141 in the Lambo. He's holding 3rd place. He looks like he wants to put a bit of a challenge on Hutch, but we'll see what happens. Chica's holding 4th. Then we've got SOP Steve that I've been watching with Nelio. Gamer Dad, Lely's. Oh, look at this, Lely and Gamer Dad. This is worth looking at. Let's have a look at these two in the mirrors. Lely runs wide to give space. It's going to slow him up a bit, and then we've got Michael. Michael's all over the back now of Gamer Dad. He's not getting out of the way. That was committed through there. Gamer Dad goes wide, takes the grass. Is that going to spit him out? And then that's caused Michael to run wide, so Michael's gone wide there as well. And Spacey in the Bentley, he's thinking, well, I might have a go. But as Michael comes back onto the track, that pushes Spacey across the track as well. And this is all kicking off. This is... Tell you what, if this happens tomorrow night in the Race of Champions, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, to be fair. Because these boys, they are racing hard. And I mean hard. Right, Gamer Dad wants to get back at Spacey, and then Michael's just behind him. So IR Graham, interesting. IR Graham, who's starting from the pit lane, is up to 11th. So he's coming up to the back of Michael at the moment. Championship 1 and 2 previously. I don't think it's going to make a difference now. And I'm sure Michael would like just to keep him behind him. But then we've got 25 minutes left, 25 and a half minutes left. Michael goes wide. Is that Fresh Brizzle went really wide there as well, out of Coops? I don't know what's going on, guys. We're all just flinging these cars around in this race. Fantastic. Through Maggots and Beckett's there. Hard on the power mic, yeah. Okay, through Chapel. He's going to get a good run on Gamer Dad. Up the hanger straight here. Definitely a move coming. Gamer Dad sticks in the middle of the track, so he's gone defensive there. So he's going to look to just modulate those brakes. Try and make that apex first. They touch. And there comes Graham round the outside on the back. This is fantastic. Graham's now going to duck it up the inside. He's thinking about it. Which way is he going to go? Tell you what, boys, you're putting on a fantastic show for the last half an hour. I'm sure, I don't know how many of you are smiling, but I am, and I'm sure everyone else that's watching is. Heat of the battle. Graham's putting the pressure all over Michael now. Nice and committed through there. It's a beautiful corner, that one. Right. Whilst we keep an eye on these guys having their little dance, so Evan is still currently leading Hutch by 1.6 seconds. GT Jamie now in third. He's only 2/10 off the back of Hutch. He wants a challenge on there. And SOP, look at him in the Porsche. He's all over the back of Nelio. So Porsche v Ferrari there. The two SOP boys, they're having a nice little dance. Let's see if anything happens with them. Then Lely. So Lely's 6th, 2 seconds behind. Then you got Spacey in the Bentley, the number 12 Bentley. He's 1.3 seconds behind. Michael's 9th. Graham is... Michael is 8th, beg your pardon. Graham's 7/10 behind him in 9th. Then Gamer Dad in 10th. Fresh Brizzle is 11th. Pony Feeder 12th. Crazies is 13th. Kino 14th. Traction 15th. And Marek is in 16th. So, by my maths, we've had 2 people either disconnect or rage quit, which we will no doubt find out at the end. And if they have done a rage quit, that is that's quite sad, really, because it's the last race of the season. Okay, there may have been a few bumps and whatnot, but you're not winning the championship, are you? Those people that were involved in it, so just crack on. You know, obviously if you're disconnected, that's a different kettle of fish. But so GT Jamie still putting that pressure on Hutch. Hutch is doing a great job at the moment. Let's get on board that Lambo. Let's have a little listen to the Lambo. So whilst we're just watching GT Jamie absolutely tank that Lambo through Abbey down towards Village, we've got a new person in the live chat, JA. Hello JA, saying go Nelio Forza. Well, yeah, Nelio's having a great race. Welcome to the chat, JA. You're more than welcome to stay with us and enjoy the rest of this race. If you like what's going on at the moment, press like. If you want to see the rest of what goes on here and follow you guys, press sub. Easy, but welcome. So Jamie looks, he does want to make a move. Hutch is doing really well, actually. I'm not going to say that again. Every time I do, Hutch bins it. As they go through Luffield, Ferrari, yeah, she's nice and stable there. These two are close. We'll see if there's potential move down through Coops. If not, I think could set that up quite nicely through Maggots and Beckett's towards Hanger Straight, but it's nice, Jamie. That is nice. And all the while, Evan IRL is up top. He's only a second ahead, though. Yeah, you could see Jamie had to back right out of that. So we'll see what goes on for the rest of the lap. It looks like Evan's slowed up there. Evan's taken to the grass a little bit, so he might be... It's not the time to take your eye off the ball, Evan. You're in the box seat at the moment. So GT Jamie, again, applying the pressure, showing the nose. He thought about that. He did think about that. And Hutch came across under brakes to try and block that off. But that gave him, I feel, quite a bit of understeer. So he's gone defensive now. Let's keep it clean, boys. Nice challenge going on here. And these three are out on their own. So SOP Nelio is currently in 4th. He's 2.7 seconds behind in a Ferrari himself. He's just coming through in the background there. So these guys, any one of these 3 can still win this race, because Evan IRL, although he is leading in that McLaren, he's not running away with it at all. So I actually think if Jamie can clear Hutch, I'd put my money on Jamie if he can clear Hutch. Now Hutch is driving impeccably at the moment. See, look at that. Jamie's made a mistake there, and that's because Hutch is placing that car. He's using the throttle as and when he needs to, so he's doing extremely well with that. Let's come out of that for a moment. Keep an eye on the times. So Nelio, there we go. So JA is supporting Nelio. There he is. There's your guy. Look at him. And he's 21 Ferrari. There you go, JA. support your guy. And then if we look further down the field, so SOP Steve, he's 1.6 behind. Then Lely, Spacey, they're quite spaced out. Michael's in 8th, so Michael's pulled a second and a bit on Graham there. Gamer Dad 10th, Fresh Brizzle. So everybody, apart from these guys, are well gapped. So now let's go on board with Hutch and look at it from his point of view. So we've heard and seen what it was like in the 3rd place Lambo of GT Jamie, and let's have a look at FRL Hutch. Let's see how that Ferrari's handling for him. Come on Hutch, get that McLaren. Both very different cars, massively different characteristics. We've got 90 minutes left of this race, 90 minutes left of the season for these guys. Oh, Jamie was getting pretty close there, and you can see SOP Nelio just sitting in the background there. So if I'm looking at the timings, if he's still about 2.6 behind, okay, so that gap hasn't really changed. Power. Come on Hutch, commit. Brakes. Should be down into first there, mate. So, again, you know, we hoped that this second race was going to bring some more close racing. It certainly has. You've now got a 3-way battle for the lead. We're not talking people trying to get on the podium here. Any one of these 3 could win this race. And of course, if any of these 3 have an incident, you can see just in the background there, past Jamie, you've got the Ferrari of SOP Nelio. He's now 2 seconds, so he's brought that gap down by 6/10. So maybe he's just found a groove. Who knows? But those 2 are certainly very close. We'll keep an eye on that from above and look at the other timing. So Lely's in 6th, 8/10 behind SOP. Steve in the Porsche. Oh, and you see, look at that. They're all concentrating that much. There's a move coming. You gotta feel a move coming somewhere. GT Jamie, every lap we've been on board so far, he always carries more speed and gets a better run out of Coops than Hutch. That's the pattern that I've seen. So he's either got to he's got to take more through there. He's got a good run at the moment. He's in the toe. Is he going to be able to duck out? He's trying. Keep an eye on that mirror. No, and Hutch has gone wide again. This happened last time. And then Jamie's going to just duck. There you go. Right, now Hutch has got to be careful because we've got SOP Nelio, who's just waiting in the wings there. So Hutch has got a couple of things to think about at the moment. A, he wants to get back past GT Jamie. We've got another move going on there which we need to look at as well. He's also thinking that SOP Nelio is right behind him, and his tyres are going to be a little bit iffy from what happened previously. Look at Lely. So Lely looks like he's made that move on SOP Steve. You can see just in the mirror in the right hand side there. So Lely elevates himself up to 5th place. That's excellent driving, well done you. I'm back on board with GT Jamie, and GT Jamie has got past Hutch. Fantastic! Of course he has. So we move away for what? 3 corners maybe? 3 corners we move away, and both those moves happen. Great. Well done guys, that's what we like to see. So Hutch unfortunately is, excuse me, oh, and GT Jamie goes really wide there. That's not going to help his case, is it? Where's Hutch at? Wow, there he is. He's right next to him. And look behind. Oh, my word. SOP Nelio is all over the back of Hutch in the other Ferrari. And then just behind them, you've got Lely, who... Okay, this is developing really nicely. We're almost halfway. We'll keep an eye on these from this position, I think, as we go into Coops. 2 Ferraris duelling at Silverstone. The run down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Interesting, slightly different lines from those 2 Ferraris, certainly on entry. Jamie takes a lovely run through there, out onto the hangar straight. You've got to say, it's fantastic. Do you know what? If we weren't watching this, if we were watching the World GT Championship, honestly guys, and we're looking at this type of footage, and you're watching the lines these guys are taking, and you're listening to this amazing commentary, by the way, just saying, it's like watching the real thing. there's no difference in my mind. No difference at all, apart from money. You know, we don't all get paid to do this and all those bits. There's no difference. Look at the way these guys are driving. It's absolutely epic. Keep an eye. So, Hutch, yeah, Hutch has got a lot to think about. GT Jamie can just try and control that pace. You've got to say, Nelio's driving really well at the moment, but Nelio has got Lelio behind him, so I'm sure. And there we go, Hutch has made a mistake there. He's gone a bit wide. Don't think there's room for two through there, boys. Oh, wow, that was close. Side by side. You can't even see him. They're alongside each other, going into Luffield. No, sorry, now into Luffield, obviously. Hutch backed out of that one. He keeps it ahead of Lely. I don't know if there was a little love tap there. Don't think so. But now Hutch has got to fight with Lely. And this has released SOP Nelio, who's having an absolutely stonking drive in third place. And look at him, he's all over the back of GT Jamie. GT Jamie goes slightly wide, as he has done every lap so far. And Nelio's thinking, okay, I'm in the box seat. There's an opportunity here. Definitely a podium on, as Hutch is battling really hard with Lely. You've got to remember, in terms of the championship, if Lely... Well, Lely's not going to win the championship, but Lely obviously wants to get second place in the championship, so let's change that view. Let's have a look further down the grid, because these guys are, and it looks like Lely's about to make a move there. Lely has gone up the inside of Hutch. Nothing Hutch could do about that one. So Hutch, I think you just need to compose yourself, buddy, and just top 5 would be a fantastic finish for you. 13 minutes left of the race. He's not going to get time to do that, is he? Because look at SOP, Steve's all over the back of him. And oh look, the ever so slow Michael Races is in 7th place. 8th place currently is Spacey coming through there in the number 12 Bentley. And then Graham in his Merc, he's currently in 9th place. He's got to be pretty annoyed with, if I believe what's happened, he didn't manage to press drive. Maybe some confusion at the start there. Gamer Dad, featured driver this evening, is running in 10th place. I think he's extracting everything he can out of that Jag. So well done, Gamer. There's not much more you can do with her, I don't think. Fresh Brizzle, as you saw there, arriving rather quickly behind Gamer Dad, possibly missing a braking zone or two. He's in 11th, but obviously he's got a friend with him in terms of Crazies. So let's get on board with Crazies. This is a close fight as well. Let's see if Crazies can catch him and put a move on Fresh Brizzle. This is for 11th and 12th place. Remember, this is Tier 1, and you can be, well, you can't be forgiven really here for thinking, well, you know, sort of maybe 12th, 13th, 14th, you know, they're probably the slower drivers. Well, they're not. Crazies is 12th, and he's a 6-time FRL Championship winner. Fresh Brizzle is ridiculously fast. Game with Dad's a multiple championship winner, as is IR Graham. Pony Feeder, well, he's got the potential to win a championship, as is Keno. Those two are Tier 1 guys all day long. And then Traction Dave is 15th, but we know from what he did in the last race and consistently throughout the season, he's absolutely rapid. No slow drivers. The quality and the speed of these guys is absolutely top draw. Take my hat off to them. As Fresh Brizzle gets a little bit leery coming out of Chapel there, that's going to give Crazies a run, as it does. Gets into the slipstream. How much of a difference is that going to make? Brizzle goes defensive. Crazies is trying to get him to go wide to duck it. Beautiful, beautiful move there, Crazies. Is that going to pay off? You can see Brizzle's still there. He holds the inside line, but Crazies thinks, well, I'll try and get that line actually. As these two are dueling. Oh, Crazies gets a big fistful of oversteer, and Pony Feeder is on his tail. Another battle developing. Another close one. It's ridiculous. So Nelio has made that move, and well, you know what? I'm not. Nelio has taken Lely. Oh no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Oh, Evan, nearly. So SOP had taken Lely, was just putting the move there on Evan, and then it looked like Evan was struggling to keep the car get the car back on track because he'd gone off. And that might have been the reason, you know, maybe loss of control. There was definitely a tap there in the rear quarter, and I thought that was going to spin them both out, which would have been really, really unfortunate for those two after putting in such great drives. So we've got changes at the top. So Nelio is currently your race leader. We'll go on board with him because he's getting some pressure from Lely. Now, if Lely can win this race, that would cement, without a doubt, his second place. Then again, how many points is Michael going to bring home? Lely finished 6th in the last race, didn't he? And Michael won it. Now, if Lely can win this race, then Michael's probably 3rd there, not 4th on that screen. So I think Nelio is either going to run out of fuel, or because he's not involved in the championship, he's done a really, really gentlemanly thing there. Yeah, it's not fuel, and he's got out of the way. Again, guys, come on, you've got to look at this. SOP Nelio is in 1st place and deserved to be in 1st place with this quickness and the consistency of his driving over the last 20 odd minutes. Yeah, he's in 1st place. He can sit there and he's thinking, right, see, I'm going to win. I'm going to win on my first race or whatever it is within FRL. Fantastic. But he's a reserve, so he doesn't. He knows he's got one of the main championship contenders behind him. He steps aside. Sportsmanship, respect, all these things in spades within FRL, chaps, and you've just seen it there. So Michael's got this sewn up anyway. I think Evan's also done the same thing there as well. Let Michael through. So I wouldn't be surprised in a few corners time you see Nelio and Michael swap places as well. Hutch is still running in 5th place. Hutch, I'm really impressed with that, buddy. You're doing a great job. You have had so much pressure on you so far in this race. Yeah, you're doing really well, mate. And you've still got pressure on you, so... I know what it is. It's that new Fanatec wheel you've got. You haven't broke it in yet. Yeah, that's what... Of course it is. Of course it is. Right, so it looks like Spacey in the Bentley's just got that move done. He has. Spacey's moved up to 5th. Hutch is 6th. And then Graham is the next person. And I think Hutch has just thought, it's Graham, get out of the way. And obviously SOP Steve, yeah, there we go. I was going to say, SOP Steve thinks, that's opportunistic. It's like a fire engine going through in traffic. I'll just stick behind that one and follow it through. Which is naughty, but opportunistic. So I think that's why that happens. And SOP Steve fancies a piece of Graham by the look of it as well. And then you got Gamer down at the back. I just saw a glimpse there, so we'll keep on this one for now. But I'm sure Crazies and Fresh Brizzle are still at it. Pony Feeder's right on them as well. Look, he's only 3 and a bit tenths behind. So that's a battle we're going to need to look at. Pony Feeder's only 2 tenths down. Are we getting a move here? I'm going to the back of the grid, guys. Let's give everybody some time. Okay, Pony Feeder is putting the pressure on Crazies. Let's go on Crazies because he's in the sandwich at the moment. So Fresh Brizzle in front of him. Obviously he wants to make that place up. Pony Feeder behind him doesn't want to lose that place. So, and again, these boys have all been running together consistently for a number of laps now. And I keep saying it. Actually, do you know what? Little story for you guys whilst we're doing this. I like a little story. Coops Corner. My father-in-law came to visit us today with my mother-in-law to come and see the kids. And he was saying to me, he was like, look, next time a certain person comes around the house, give them a go. Get them in the rig. Because he's had a go in the rig and he's not very good. But he's an old chap. And it's physical, isn't it? And he was like, no, seriously, you've got to put this person in the rig because they don't believe how physical it is. Oh, who's that? It's crazy. He's great handle in there. So Fresh Brizzle had an issue. Crazy's opportunistic move and then held on to that, and that was impressive. He moves himself up to 11th place. Fresh Brizzle is going to want to get that one back, and again you can just see Pony Feeder there on a watching brief. And we know Cop's Corner in the last race was a bit of an Achilles heel for Crazies. He's had to drop it to 3rd. So you could see that when he dropped it into 4th, you could see the steering. He was starting to make some corrections on the steering. I thought, I'd better put it into 3rd, make sure we get that turn in. Gamer Dad is the next target. Do you remember in the last race we had 4 drivers really close together that were having an epic battle? We had Gamer Dad, Crazies, and it wasn't Fresh Brizzle or Pony Feeder, but that one's developing again right now. Amazing. So Lenny is still in first place. Nelio is second. Michael is third. Michael's not closing that gap down to Nelio, so I actually think Michael is quite happy at the moment to consolidate where he is. That position will get him a championship win, and look after it. There's no need to make any silly mistakes, Michael. Just got to keep it tight for the next few laps. Evan is in fourth place. He won't be happy because he was in first, but he has to be happy he's in fourth. It's a great run. Spacey is currently fifth place, 1.3 seconds behind. Graham sixth, is only a second behind him. And then we've got SOP Steve, who's still putting that pressure on. And Hutch, so Hutch has lost another place, and Graham's made up 2 there, because if you remember, Graham was behind Hutch. GT Jamie currently running 9th, and then we got this lot: Gamer Dad, Crazies, Fresh Brizzle, Pony Feeder, and I would suggest there's a second and a bit between these 4. Traction's running 14th. Don't know what's happened to him in this race. Kino's running 15th. I think that's going to be a little disappointing for him. And then Marek is currently running last. You will remember there were quite a lot of incidents in the first few laps. I think with excitement, I don't know. There were a few incidents, so I'm expecting something probably in the incidents room after the race. But hey, as the race steward, my view on that is this: the season's finished, and there you go. Although I might look at it anyway. So Crazies, he'd love to put a move on Gamer, wouldn't he? Being in the admin team. So let's see, can the Jag hold off the Aston, and will he hold up the Aston? Oh no, Fresh Brizzle again went wide there. Look at the run he's got. Look at the run Crazies has got in that Aston. Let's see her come past. See ya. Look at it, sails past. Gamer Dad's going to get late on the brakes though. They're going to touch. No, of course not. But Crazies has the inside line. That move's done. I don't think Gamer Dad's holding on to that place. Takes a different line, so he manages to get on the power earlier through here. He's going back for the inside move. Great driving again, can't deny that. Look behind, Fresh Brizzle wants a piece as well, because these two are squabbling as we come up to Abbey. They're all got to be committed through here. Okay, so Crazies gets through there fine, as does Gamer Dad, as does Fresh Brizzle. Just behind him, you're going to see Pony Feeder. No, look at that for a move. Fresh Brizzle dives, and I mean dives up the inside. So Gamer Dad didn't have a choice there. He couldn't come back across. And now we've got Pony Feeder who's trying the same. Gamer Dad's trying to do a switcheroo on him. Pony Feeder's all over the back. This is don't touch, boys. Excellent racing. Fresh Brizzle had to go wide there. He had no choice if he didn't want to have any kind of contact. And Pony Feeder's all over the back of these two. He's got to make a lunge up the inside, is he? No. And look at it. We've got one each side. Gamer Dad needs to have about 6 eyes at the moment as Pony Feeder looks to make that move, and Fresh Brizzle's all over the back of him as well. Gamer Dad's not giving that one up. He's got a good drive out of there. He's on the inside, but he's not going to have the pace down there into Coops. Again, epic driving, boys. We've got 1 minute 25 seconds left. I haven't stopped smiling for this last hour and a bit. It's been absolutely fantastic, and it still is. Look, Fresh is trying. We're going into Magus and Beckett's. Had to back out there. That was wise. That would have been tears, no doubt. Pony Feeder gets a little bit squirrely there. Took a little bit of gravel, but he seems to have got a good drive out of there. And Traction's just behind Fresh as well. Right. Fantastic driving, guys. Quick look on the live chat. Georgie Priest, let's go Hutch. Yeah, Georgie. Hutch had a great start and actually held that really well for a number of laps, and then I think it was just a culmination of there was so much pressure on him. I don't think he can hold on to it. But anyway, still in the top 10. So Lenny's currently winning. Nelio is second, then Michael's third, definitely taking it easy there. Spacey is currently still in fourth place. SOP Steve in the 789 Porsche, he's still in fifth place, 1.3 seconds behind Spacey. Then IR Graham, who's actually making a bit of a fist of it now at the end of this race, he's currently in sixth, half a second behind. SOP Nelio. Then Evan IRL was leading this race from the beginning, if you remember, till quite deep into the race, and then obviously had a slight coming together. And then GT Jamie was also running first and second in this race. Hutch was running second and third in this race, and I believe we're on the last lap. No, we're not on the last lap. Lely's won. Lely, congratulations. Nelio brings it home in second place. Congratulations to you. I'm not taking my eye off this one at the moment. Michael Races crosses in third place, and I do believe, Michael, that crowns you as the British GT3 champion. Congratulations to you. Spacey crosses in fourth. Graham fifth. SOP Nelio ends up sixth. Evan IRL comes over seventh. Jamie in eighth. Then Hutch is ninth. Crazies comes over in 10th. We're just watching these guys now. Pony Feeder 11th. Gamer Dad there 12th. Fresh Brizzle 13th. Traction 14th. Kino in 15th. And Marek is going to come across the line in 16th place. Wow, there you have it. So that was two 30-minute sprint races. No pit stops. All guns blazing, two 30-minute races, and they were two epic races. The first race was amazing. The second race had so many incidents in there, and also some really close battles again. Congratulations to Lely. You did the best you could there to try and maybe overhaul Graham and Michael for that championship. I do believe by my maths that makes Michael the championship winner. Congratulations to you, and I believe Lely was second. Graham may have kept third, but Crazies might have taken a few off him. So, guys, amazing! What a great way to round out our Sunday evenings in the current form of the game. Next time we see each other, it will all be different. We'll either be on 4s or 5s. We won't all be together. So, give yourselves a pat on the back. Well done. I'd like to thank everybody that's watched this evening. So thank you to everybody that's in there at the moment. Nice job, drivers. Great job, Coops. Congrats to Michael. Yeah, totally agree. Georgie Priest, good to have you with us. Thanks, Lurchies. Thanks, JA. Thanks, everybody that's watched. I hope it's been entertaining. Please press like. Yeah, if you're watching this video, it takes half a second to press like. It means a lot to me. And it helps us keep producing these shows for everybody. Thanks to Gamer Dad for being the featured driver. I think you extracted everything you can out of that Panther, mate. And well done to everybody involved. So, that's that one finished. So another season out of the way. I will be back tomorrow evening. As I've said before, we have the Race of Champions. So, all the big boys in FRL are all going to come together, and they're all going to race at Suzuka tomorrow evening in the Lexus. Single make. Everyone in the Lexus. You got to join me for that. You know that one's also going to be pretty... What's the word I'm looking for? Good. We'll use that one. And then, yeah, we've got the update. So, I won't waffle anymore. Thanks, everyone. We've just had one more comment. Michael says, thank you, guys. No, thank you, Michael. Some great racing you've treated us to. Watching that develop this year from pole positions to second and third places, trying to, really wanting that win, and then just the momentum from it. So great effort to you. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. Catch me tomorrow. Leave a like, and we'll go from there. So have a good evening. Comms by Coops out.